Hi, so what's your name and grade?
My name's Aliya Brown, and I'm in 10th grade.
Great. And what projects have you been doing this year?
This year we've done a lot of different projects. We've done individual, we've done group projects. Right now we were working in committees to pass a bill. It was like a simulation of, Congress and how bills are passed. And just, I think we have a nice balance in our class of like the project-based learning and taking notes, because that way you're not just trying to memorize, you're absorbing information more effectively.
So what do you, besides that, what else do you like about doing the projects, and what do you find as a challenge?
I mean, I like, the discovery aspect and doing your own research, but I mean, myself, I don't really like working in groups as much just because of the imbalance sometimes in workload, but I especially like the individual projects that we did, because it was, we were getting a lot of different, like practice in a lot of different things like analysis and writing, especially for our election portfolio. We got to, listen to the debates and really learn on our own, not just having to, again, memorize through lectures.
Okay, great. So what do you think is beneficial for all students? Do you see that all students in your class like project-based learning, or do you see that some kids like it more than others?
I mean, to be frank, I think for individual projects, people like me would like them better. And I mean, the people who tend to be more excited about the group projects are the ones who aren't necessarily pulling their weight entirely. I mean, I don't know what else. I guess everyone up to a certain point likes not having to be lectured, but then again, I think it just differs on personality type.
Do you think that you're learning the material as well as you would learn it by reading it in a textbook?
I think it's more effective through these projects because, again, you're so much more involved, whereas textbook learning, you kind of memorize it and then you forget. But for the projects, I think there's a lot more, absorbing of information.
Okay. So what do you think about the other projects that you've done in other classes in comparison to the government projects?
I think this year, I don't think we've really been doing projects the way we have in government. I mean, in other classes, it's more like essays, so I think computer science is the only other class where we're necessarily doing projects. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I can really compare because we're not really doing many projects in any other classes.
Interesting. So how do you feel that you are able to work with other people more, or, okay, let me rephrase that question. Do you think that being forced to do group projects is teaching you anything about working with people, or not?
Oh yeah, I think it definitely is, because I know that the way I am, I wouldn't be working with people if I wasn't necessarily forced to on these kind of projects. I think it's helping develop, like workplace skills, because I'm not always going to be working with people I like to work with, but I'm going to have to. So I think doing this starting early is, it's just developing those skills early on. So, I mean, it just gets easier instead of harder.
In the election project, what was something that surprised you about doing that project at the beginning of the year?
That surprised me. I don't think anything really. I can't
Or
really.
what was your favorite part of it? Maybe that would be an easier question.
I mean, my favorite part of it was the analysis of the presidential debates, because, I mean, the articles were interesting up to a certain point, but just watching the debates, I felt, especially afterwards when I could